What's going on, everybody? Chrome on Rust here. I've been doing some testing with the new build for the Barb. This build is designed around killing elites as fast as possible. I featured it in my last key running video. Basically what I was trying to do is kill elites as fast as possible so I could fit as much of that content into the video as I could. So this is how the build came about. So I'm going to go ahead and go over it here. It's going to be like your standard Whirlwind build. Of course, your standard Whirlwind build is going to be Bash and Whirlwind, Battle Rage, Sprint, Wrath of Berserker, Warcry, then Ruthless and Weapon Masters, and then normally this third passive, you'll kind of put whatever you want there. So for the new build though, I'm going to be changing 2 skills and possibly 2 passives. I'm only changing 1 passive for myself because of the ones that I use, but if you're using different ones, you might be changing 2 passives. So we are going to be taking out Bash, and I'm going to be using Hammer the Ancients. So it's going to take Hammer the Ancients damage with the Smash Rune. It's going to take it from 325 up to 406. And then I'm going to be taking out Wrath of Berserker. Now this might be a little bit of a surprise to some of you, but when you're just trying to go from elite pack to elite pack and kill them as fast as possible, your Wrath of Berserker is going to be falling off. And so it does have a 2-minute cooldown on it, so you're not going to be able to use it the entire time. So to speed things up, I actually went ahead and I threw on Rend. It's a very high damage dealing skill, and I'm actually going to be using the Lacerate Rune, so it's going to be taking the damage from 700% up to 903. And for the passive we're going to be changing, I'm going to be changing out Ruthless, so I'm going to be keeping Weapon Masters, keep Animosity, and I'm actually going to be using Unforgiving. This build is very dependent on having Fury. So I am actually going to be using a full IK set as well. Now this is the gear I normally run around in, so I didn't have to go purchase all this, but I got my full IK set, so it's going to be an additional 5 Fury plus some Fury generation and life per Fury spent. So that's pretty nice. Also, for killing elites, you're going to want to use a Stone of Jordan. Now for this build, you'd want one with reduced cost to Hammer the Ancients, but if you're looking for one with high damage against elites, plus the 6% elemental damage and the 5 Hammer the Ancients Fury reduction, you're going to be spending a lot of money. So if you don't have the money to spend on it, just try to get one with high damage against elites and probably that 6% elemental damage as well. So I'm also going to be using the Templar because he has the skill on him here that's going to be giving us an additional 8% generation. So that's going to be pretty nice. You can see I go ahead, I hammer the Ancients, and I'm gaining that Fury back nice and fast. If I had reduced Fury cost of Hammer the Ancients, like I was saying, this build would be even more viable. So I wanted to come out with this video yesterday, but I didn't, just because I felt like there was a little bit of further testing that I should probably do. So it wasn't me just coming out here and saying, here's a bunch of skills, here's how I'm using them, go have fun if you want to give it a try, or something like that. It just wouldn't make for a great video. So I did a little bit more testing, and what I did is I ran through and I killed Gom 10 times, or for a total of 60 times, because I broke it into 6 different groups. So I killed him 10 times, 6 different ways. So I broke it into groups of with Wrath of Berserker up on your standard Whirlwind build, with Wrath of Berserker down on your standard Whirlwind build, and then against this ECB or Elite Crushing build, whatever you want to call it, really doesn't matter. I'm not saying I came up with this build. I mean, I did, but I'm not saying I'm the first one to come up with this build is what I should say. And then I did that for dual wielding and 2-handed weapons as well. So the stats that I came up with is while I was dual wielding with Wrath of Berserker up on your standard Whirlwind build, I was able to kill Gom in 30 seconds. Now these are my fastest times over those 30 seconds. I didn't or over those 10 tries, I didn't average them out or anything. I just took my fastest time to compare it to. So with Wrath of Berserker down, I was able to kill him in 38.4 seconds. So there's 8.4 second difference between Wrath of Berserker being up and Wrath of Berserker being down. And against this ECB, I was able to kill him in 32.3 seconds. So there's only a 2.3 second difference versus your standard Wrath of Berserker, or versus your standard Whirlwind build with Wrath of Berserker on. So it's pretty comparable, considering that you have to fight to keep your Wrath of Berserker up. It's not like it's some easy task that you're going to be able to do all the time. And while you're doing Key Warden, or you're doing your key runs, I should say, and you're killing the Key Warden, you're not going to be able to keep your Wrath of Berserker up that entire time if you're just going for elites. They're going to be too far spread apart unless you're to run through and fight to keep your Wrath of Berserker up from the white mobs. Then you're just going to be slowing down your overall time of farming those keys. So to keep getting into those stats down though, with a 2-handed weapon, I was using a Scorn, I was able to kill him in 26.3 seconds while Wrath the Berserker was up on your standard Whirlwind build, when Wrath the Berserker was down, I was able to kill him in 28 seconds, so there was like a 1.7 second difference. And with this ECB, I was able to kill him in 27.5 seconds, so there's only a 0.8 second difference between having Wrath the Berserker up versus ECB with when I was dual wielding. So it's going to be pretty close to having your Wrath the Berserker up the entire time. Not always. It's going to be a little bit slower, but like I was saying, if you're just going from elite pack to elite pack, this is going to be faster from the data that I have collected so far. Now, I could collect data for months and still possibly not know which one's better or how much slower this is versus your standard Whirlwind build with Wrath the Berserker up. So I just can't give you all that data. I wish I could. But I do want to go over some of the skills now here real fast. Hammer the Ancients, or go in depth about them a little bit. Hammer the Ancients is going to have a 0.8 proc coefficient. What this is going to mean is you're going to have 80, or you're going to get 80% of your total life on hit value. So if you have 1,000, you're going to get 800 life on hit. Or if you're using Battle Rage, which you should be, you're going to get 12 Fury instead of 15. 80% of 15 is going to be 12. Some things about Rend is it's going to have a 0.33 proc coefficient. What that is going to mean is you're going to get 33.3% of your total life on hit value, or you're going to be getting 33.3% of your battle rage into the fray. Or also, if you're using an Echoing Fury, your Echoing Fury is going to have a 33.3% chance to proc, and then it'll go into the whole 10% chance or 20% chance, depending on whatever you had on your Echoing Fury. But that's not what this video is about, so I'm not going to get into that. I just wanted to go over those skills briefly for you. So I do want to go ahead and show the build in action here. There was one thing I forgot to mention about the skills, not because I'm trying to be a jerk, but I just forgot, and that is Warcry. I'll be taking off Impunity and be throwing on Charge for that additional 20 Fury generation. So as long as your survival stats are up to par, do go ahead and throw on Charge. Like I was saying, this is a very resource intensive build, so anywhere you can get it, any Fury, it's going to be great. So I'm going to be running this on MP6, and my damage is 152k. Now that is unbuffed except for our Weapon Masters on, just so you can kind of get an idea of how fast we're clearing here. So we're going to go ahead, go to the Keep Depths level 3, and we're going to kill our first elite pack. Wherever they may be, I shall find them. White mobs like this, you can actually just throw out a Rend, run away. Half of them are going to die as long as you get that crit Rend off. And then you just check your map, throw it up, see if there's any stars. And if there's a star, that means you got a legendary. So you're going to want to throw out a few of the tornadoes here. I normally wouldn't Whirlwind and Tornado this long. I'm just showing you, throw out a few tornadoes, throw up your Rend, and then you're just going to start hammering. So you're going to be able to deal damage consistently in 2 different ways from 3 different sources of damage in 2 different ways. And that is going to be, you're going to be able to have a Rend going, and you're going to be able to have Whirlwind and your tornadoes going as well. And also, when you're not doing that, you're going to be able to have your Rend up, your tornadoes going, and then you're going to be able to start hammering. So I throw out a Rend, I have a few tornadoes going, and then I can just hammer this guy to death. There we go. I got a sword. What is it? Okay, it's nothing good. Something the Blinding Sands or Sunkiss or something like that. Can't remember the name right off the top of my head. So we'll go ahead and find one more elite pack here. There we go, just like these guys. I'll just run them, run away. Now I actually didn't get like almost any crits. None of them are dropping. Here's our next pack. Bleeding Shrine. Yeah, sure, why not? Throw out a Rend, a few tornadoes, and then just start hammering them to death. All there is to this build. Get in the big pack, start rending, and don't get frozen or you might die like I just did there. Anyways, you guys get a pretty good idea of what's going on. That is the one disadvantage about not having Wrath the Berserker, and that is you can get frozen or jailered or whatever the case may be. So there's one other thing I wanted to do, and that is I have this gear set here. Some of you might have noticed that I had an entire gear set in my stash just sitting there, and I wanted to give it away. This is the one that I built with the 23 ticks per tornado for under 15 million. I've ran through all my testing, and so I don't need it anymore. So all you're going to have to do is you're just going to have to post your battle tag in the comments below, and you're going to have to be a subscriber. So this is going to be my little way of saying thank you for subscribing. And then I'm going to pick the winner next Saturday. And next Saturday would be the 13th, so this coming Saturday, the 13th of April 2013. So 13/13, that's when I'm giving it away, of April. So I hope you did enjoy. If you do try out the build, go ahead and post in the comments below. I'd really like to know what you thought of it or how it worked out for you, that kind of thing. Just kind of get a feel. I really haven't made any build videos before. Normally I just kind of use whatever builds out there because they're normally pretty good. So I would appreciate it. And once again, this is Chroma Rust for Core Expert Gaming, and you all have a great day.